So the whole take women's rights away and women shouldn't voting, that's just things are going to get really bad because we're going to have hyperinflation. That's how this story ends. And a lot of people are going to die. And this is just like a stopgap to get from there to there. Now, in the future, if we have a net taxpayer voter system, if women want to be a net taxpayer, they can vote. There won't be that many of them. Like, it's not going to be. There might be like a handful of women, and look, we'll throw them a parade. The women who actually want to sacrifice and be a net taxpayer, they can get on a float together, and we could wave to them. The vast majority of people just want to be taken care of. As long as the government isn't screwing them hard in butt, they don't really care who the president is or which party's in power, as long as their life is good. Like, the only reason why people are so politically active is because both parties want to force their values down the other's throat. So it becomes like, my guy has to win or my life is going to get worse, and the other guy's going to, do something to my kids or something. Whether it's forcing them to watch VeggieTales or get their penises cut off. Like, something's going to happen to my kids, and I have to protect them from the other party. And that's why politics has become so divisive. So I don't even remember where I was going with that. I'm just going to stop now.
Destiny, what's your response to that?
I truly don't even know how to engage. Generally, I didn't know who this person was in advance, but usually when people are arguing with charts, that they don't have like the prerequisite knowledge or education to have an understanding of the topic they're arguing about. So I usually just avoid those conversations completely. I know that sounds dismissive, but like when he's showing me a chart of like, these are the bad programs that screw over people, and he doesn't even know what like half the programs on the chart that he's showing me is, he doesn't know the study they're coming from, and he thinks that like two variables in a graph prove a causal relationship. Like, the engagement with all these topics, it just sounds like you watched a YouTuber or read a thing, and then like that's like your entire opinion. I don't know how you could come to a debate like this, like eager to throw out a whole bunch of like information, and you don't have a single study. That's astounding to me. I would be embarrassed and mortified if I went into a data-driven argument and all I had were like Discord charts. But you don't even realize why that's embarrassing. So like, I don't even know how I would try to talk like macro econ with somebody citing me things that people said in the 1700s. It sounds really mean. I'm sorry. I'm kind of intentionally being mean, but like, almost nothing you're saying is true. I've already like addressed some of it, but like you don't even realize why what you're saying isn't true. So I don't know how to say it. Like, I'll ask the one fundamental question I asked earlier. Can you show me any evidence whatsoever that people are min-maxing welfare? But then you're pointing to a chart. I don't know what to say to that. That's not how that works. That's not how any of that works, right? So like, here's an example. Like, I might have like I might do a study where I say, what is the normal attainment of an employee in their work life? And I might be able to show that an employee will work and they earn this much money, but I might have the control might be a normal employee that makes no welfare, and then I show that against like 5 or 6 other types of workers on different types of welfare, and I might show you can look at the employee behavior. Once they approach these cliffs, they tend to either reduce the amount of hours they work, or they tend to make choices that are adverse to future earning potentials. And I might be able to explain that by the fact that they're on a certain type of welfare. That type of research would go, oh, holy shit, people are actually min-maxing welfare. But instead, you just show me a chart and you go, well, look at this welfare cliff. Everybody knows those exist. Nobody makes the claim that it's influencing workers' choices. And then you say, well, I think moms are kicking dads out of the household so that they can min-max their welfare, but you have no data or evidence for that whatsoever. I could present to you 15 other hypotheses for why that happens. I could say that, one, the chart you're showing me is just going by single mothers. It's not, or by married mothers or unmarried mothers. It might be the fact that more people are living together, but they're just unmarried because shotgun weddings are a lot less popular than they were in the 60s and 70s. It might be that there are other things causing single motherhood, which would cause them to get welfare, not the other way around, that they're choosing welfare so they become single mothers. But again, this would take like research. You have the positive argument here. I guess like, if you wanted me to, like, we can spend, if you want, we can spend 10 or 15 minutes like researching right now if you want to. I could show you like some good things to type into Google, but one chart showing the relationship between two variables is not going to give you a causal relationship between something as complicated as why do people choose the types of employment they choose or choose the types of family structures they do. If you want to do that research right now, I would be happy to do it with you. Like, it might be a fun experiment, but I don't know how you can expect to show a chart and then say that, well, in the 1700s this happened, and like that's an argument. Like,
right. So this is why I don't like debates, and nothing personal against you. Like, I used to, when I used to make videos back in like 2015, 2016, I used to do extensive research, and I used to cite my sources, and I aired on the caution of a peer review. And what happens is I run into a tactic which I dub do my homework, where people, they just reject my evidence, and they find flaws with all my sources. This source is from the 90s. This source, the group size is too small, and they just said, find me more evidence. And there was a time, I don't remember what year this was. I bit. I'm like, okay, I will keep finding evidence. Every time I found evidence, the guy found a reason to dismiss it. And I think after several hours, he just stopped replying. And I just thought this is a giant waste of my time.
Wait, so because you've debated some people that are bad faith in the past, you've decided to become bad faith? That's what I'm hearing.
No, it's not. It's not about bad faith. It's like the charts are visual representation. I could, in the future, I'll dig up the sources and I will have the sources available in the future. But this isn't that hard. Like, you can be like, well, there's plenty of reasons why the single motherhood rate skyrocketed after the welfare state. It couldn't possibly be that, paying people to be single mothers incentivized the creation of single mothers. That's a myth. Where's your sources? That's fine. I don't even I'll just concede the entire argument. Welfare is it just happens. Who knows why it happens? It just happens.
I don't understand why I'm not asking for 50 million. I'm just asking for a single one. A graph is never yeah, okay. But you brought graphs, so why not just get one abstract of one study? Like, just a single abstract.
Right. Well, if I had the sources of the graph, which I could dig them up, and there's old videos where I used to cite my sources, but it's just I don't have it on me, and frankly, if I had it and I gave them to you, maybe you'd read it like, oh, okay, I can see this is valid and the data checks out.
Just what you
might
said.
say, well, I don't like this study. I don't like this study. Find a better one.
Does it not? Do you not feel a little bit embarrassed that you're sourcing me a graph and you don't even know what study it comes from, or if it even comes from a study? Because one of the graphs you sourced me didn't come from a study. It was just like a web page talking about welfare cliffs. That's not a study, and it had nothing to do with your assertion that welfare cliffs are causing people to choose to be single moms. Right? Like, if I'm going to source a graph, like maybe I want to talk about, like, I think black people get pulled over more than white people. I might source a graph from the Nature study showing that at nighttime, the rates of people getting pulled over are similar. I might show that graph, but if somebody says, well, tell me about that graph, well, I'd be able to tell you, well, this is how they did the study. They used a very clever trick with daylight savings time in order to control for like work environments and to make sure that, right, I would be able to talk about it. I wouldn't just say like, here's a graph, and then that's it, right? Like, you don't even know the studies that these are coming from. So that tells me you haven't done any research. You're just going on a website that's saying that, like, here, like www.singlemomsarehomeless.com, and then you're just copy pasting graphs. Otherwise, you would be able to tell me, oh, I took this graph from this study, or at least like have an idea of where it came from. I'm not saying like it's the NBR paper published by blah blah blah, but just like at least an idea. But you have no idea whatsoever where any of your sources come from.
No, I've been. These are old charts I've had for years, and I just haven't updated them, and I don't have the sources on hand. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay, we can search for something right now if you want. We can do research right now. I'm curious. So, like, I could Google, why are single motherhood rates so high? And we could see the types of answers that come up. We could do that if you want. And then we could go through and look. We can go on Google Scholar and look if you want. Or, because that would actually, like, get us. I could be wrong, by the way. You might be 100% correct. Like, maybe I'll Google that and it says that welfare has incentivized single motherhood rates, and that's why. But I'm just saying, you haven't even shown, you're not even wrong. You haven't even given me enough information to say you're wrong. You haven't even put forth an argument.